We moved from Canada, moved to California. And I'm 4 years old, I was going to this school, elementary school, and it was quite a ways to walk. I remember one day I walked and I got lost, ended up in a jewelry store on Hollywood Boulevard. And they finally got a hold of my mother. We have your daughter here, she's lost. And gosh, she had to come home from work and come and get me. So she says, I can't just let her walk home and be by herself. I want to get her into something. Well, back when we lived in Canada, my brother was in a lot of radio shows and stuff like that. So when we moved down here, my mom said, I'm going to get her into something. So we went to it was called the Screen Actors Guild. And I think this Hortense Gilbert ran it. And I would be picked up after school and taken to the guild, and other little kids were there, and they do all the kinds of acting for seniors or anybody. On weekends they'd put a play on, and it was the How Now Brown Cow thing. Anyway, we got to do that, so we put on plays on the weekends, and this one time they had 2 scouts, I think, from Kettle, and they picked 2 of us to go into the Kettle pictures. And so from then, that's how I got started. It was a blast because it was on a farm, and there's lots of places to run and play, and we had a really good time. In fact, I have to tell you that the one best part about it is one time we weren't filming. They didn't need the kids in this part, so they said, okay, you guys go play, go have a good time, but we're going to need you this afternoon. Great. So I got everybody together, the instigator, and I said, let's go on a hike. Now this was done at Universal Studios, which isn't like it is now. It was just, an empty hill there with an old town there and whatever, just a set. And so we went up on this hike and went down a gully and around. We all had a good time. We all came back on time, and that was great. Except one problem. We all got poison oak. And oh my gosh, well, of course, filming had to start. Everybody's scratching and itching. I mean, it was awful. I remember the director was Charles Lamont, and I remember his, bring that redhead into my office right now, because he knew that nobody else would do something like this but me. So here I come. Well, gosh, you said we could do something. So I took him on a hike. I didn't know there was poison oak. Anyway, it wasn't too happy because everything had to stop for a while, and we had to all be treated so we could get that poison oak off of us. That was so many kids that it was just, fun all the time. But I can tell you one other time we were sitting in the commissary, I remember, and I was sitting between Ma and Pa, and then the director was over there, and usually the kids don't get to eat with the adults ever, but we had a little special time there that we got to do this. And I remember sitting next to them, and Marjorie Main said something funny, and the director's there, and she goes, ha, 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 and hits him on the back, and the guy goes, he's just a little guy, kind of forward, and we're just kind of looking, Pa's on the other side, and he says, now, Ma, just take it easy. I mean, those people didn't act. That's how they normally were in real life. So you learned a lot about, I don't know, just brought a lot of joy to my life.
What are your first memories of working with Loretta Young and on the Loretta Young Show?
My first memories, that was on the Big Little Lie, and it was with Beverly Washburn, who I remembered the most.
No, Ellen, really? Ellen, Rocky. Crossed my heart and hoped to die. My father came home this morning. He wasn't dead. Not one bit. He was... Oh, I forgot. It's a secret. That's the best secret ever. I have a better secret, but I can't tell it. Oh, please, Ellen.
And I remember the most because I remember one time when one of the boys that was in the movie with us had some blueberries. I don't even know if she remembers this, but had some blueberries for lunch. And he threw one and it went in her hair, in her blonde hair. And the blueberry, well, we didn't think too much of it because, kids, they don't know anything. But anyway, the blueberry stained her hair. And I'll never forget that. I don't even know if she remembers that, but I thought, oh my gosh, how awful. But anyway, I remember that was one thing that stood out. And I remember another time when, well, of course, me, I guess kind of a little scamp, but always into something. And I remember Loretta coming by one time and she said, You are a unique little character.
How did you get the job on the Loretta Young shows?
I don't know, to tell you the honest to God truth. I'm sure it was from my agent, and her name was Lola Moore. I remember that. And so I'm sure that however agents worked that found they needed some kids to, come down for this one and try out and do it. And I did that one. And then there was the Christmas one, which I can't think of what it is. I don't know why, but I do remember being around a piano and we were all singing some Christmas songs. But I do remember when that was happening is I'd had the flu. That morning coming into the audition here, I was sick as a dog in the car, but my mom said, we got to do this. We've got to do this. Come on. Dragged me in there. And so, so here we had to sing and stuff. They'd say, smile, Coral, smile. And, you try smiling when you're sick. As soon as it was a break, I ripped to the bathroom and threw up, got that done, ripped back out for the rest of the show.
What was it like working with her? What did you get from working with her?
Well, I noticed, when you're a kid, you don't always get all the royalties like adults get, but she was always so nice to us. She would always come out and talk to us like we were normal people, not just fixtures in a movie. And I really enjoyed that part of her.
You have the script to the show that you've kept, and that's...
Yes, I do. Very many times, and I wanted to get it up on my wall there with my movie stuff. I thought, how am I going to put this script up there? Because I don't want to take it apart and put pages. But I'm glad I always kept that. Anything that I had, I tried to keep what I could.
Do you ever go over your lines and figure, well, I could have said that better?
Oh, all the time. All the time. Oh, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I smile more at this thing?
What did you get from Loretta Young? What did she teach you?
I think that Loretta Young taught me a lot of skills. I want to say acting skills and how to look and how to kind of present yourself. You're just a kid, so she said, try this, doing this, and you try using this. I think that would help you better, and it worked. It was great. It was just like, yes, mother. The one thing I didn't like about it is I could never go out and play with with friends, and our buddies and stuff, because I was always having to study lines. I remember one time I got a role in Superman, but that was on the radio. That was my first bit into this, and that was with George Reeves. I really liked him. I even got to give him a kiss. But anyway, I really loved doing stuff like that, but I just missed I like to go play. I wanted to go out and play and do things. I didn't want to study all the time, and I was always taken here or there, or this audition, that audition, and you're kind of ripped around a lot. I think I stopped in 1957, and that was almost 7th grade. And I did stop because, like I said, my mom and dad, nobody could really take me down to the set when they were doing the shows and stuff. So, because they had to keep working, so that kind of cut it out. So after that, sometimes I wish I could have been on the Mickey Mouse Club. I would have really enjoyed that one. That looked like fun, but I think I was doing something else at the time. I was. I did a show called Oregon Beth. It was a movie. Norman Don produced it, and it was done in Arizona. And I think we were down here about 4 or 5 months. And it was just about a gal that was on a wagon train, and they got attacked by Indians, and everybody was killed but myself. And so I had to trek through the mountains and back to try to find a town or something, and wild animals were in it and everything. And that was a good movie. I was in it all by myself, but apparently it never got a sponsor, so it never went anywhere. I wish I could find it.
So Hollywood, by and large, was a good experience for you?
Yeah, very good, because it was very good because learning a lot of acting and techniques and stuff like that, just going through school, it was real easy to do things. I got in speech contests and I used to win things all the time because I was good at that. And even through life, it's easy because I can go meet. I could walk into just a strange group of anybody standing there and just start talking to them. I thought, and also on my epitaph, if I ever have a chance to do that, I want to say, never met a stranger. That's me.
Thank you so much for sitting down, taking the time, and kind of going over the memories of the Loretta Young show, but also your career.
Thank you, Greg, very much. It's been a pleasure for me.
Okay, Coral, take it easy.
Thank you.